It's finally happened, ladies and gentlemen. I, the elitist, have been called out in a video for how I run my channel, how I go about things. Personally, I've got a fair bit to say. I've got pretty much each point this individual made in his video covered, which I just want to say right off the bat, this video is made by The Gaming D. Go check out his channel if you want. He's at about, 970 subs? Go check him out. Give him a sub if you want. I'm a fan of the guy. I'm subbed to him. I think he's worth giving a look. So, he made a video, 17 minutes long, about the wrestling community and the state of the wrestling community and how it's not in a good place, and essentially pouring that back to me and saying that I'm responsible for the wrestling community not being in a good place. Okay, so that was like the main sentiment, and within that he made about 3 to 5 main points, which I'll address first, and then I'll get to some littler ones later in the video. So if you feel like sticking around to the end, you'll hear everything about the video he made and my reaction. But if you only want to hear the main stuff, stick around for the next few minutes. So basically, this video, the main kind of sentiment is him saying that I'm not really passionate for wrestling. I don't have the passion for wrestling. I'm just here to make content and grow my channel. So I want to right off the bat address this. So for me to devote as much time as I do to making wrestling content, commenting and engaging on wrestling content, following all this wrestling content, okay, for all that to happen, I have a lot of passion for pro wrestling. Granted, it's nowhere near the passion it used to be. I'll 100% admit that. My passion for pro wrestling back in 2011 when I was getting into it, 2011, 12, 13, 14, my passion back then was through the roof. And whenever I watch something from the Attitude Era, like an Attitude Era Raw, a Ruthless Aggression Era show, I feel all that passion. I watch the shows, I remember why I'm a wrestling fan. I see my love for pro wrestling when I watch that content. But the pro wrestling content nowadays, it just kind of drains my passion. That's the thing. So I'll talk more about this later, but just to clarify, nowadays, I absolutely love watching Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. If you've watched my reviews, you'll know that. I love what they're doing. I love watching Keith Lee and Karrion Kross on NXT. I love that. MJF, everything he does. MJF versus Dictator John at the moment. The Fiend, being a beast. That's awesome. All this stuff. I have stuff that I really, really like in pro wrestling. So say I'm just not passionate. I don't have passion. It's just... It comes about at the moment because of the mediocre quality of product, the tanking ratings, and lack of buzz all around. All that stuff collectively wears down my passion. But at heart, I have a lot of passion for pro wrestling. So that was the first point. His second point he made is that I am not doing good for the wrestling community by continuing to be uncreative. He gave a few examples of some selfless acts in his own little community, which that's cool. And essentially, the whole crux of this point is that I'm not doing good for the wrestling community by continuing to be here, making videos which are the sole purpose of growing my channel and not for passion of pro wrestling. So to this one, this point struck me as being misinformed. That's the best way I'd describe it. I can see where he's coming from at this point, but to say that I'm doing bad for the wrestling community, it's just misinformed, dude. Okay, my whole thing in the community is that I'm the exalted one, okay? I'm the leader of the Dark Order, so to speak. I'm the Brody Lee of the wrestling community, because I will help you with advice on how to grow your channel. I'll introduce you and help you get introduced to like-minded creators who you'll probably enjoy their content. I'll engage with everyone who comments on my videos. That's something I've been so proud of in the, 7-8 months I've been doing this. I've always engaged. And as I'll talk about later, I engage because I love to engage. I don't engage just because, my big channel. No. I love the engagement. So, for some examples, Superkick Studios. I'll use him as an example. Super cool dude, incredibly talented creator. I came across him when he had 12 subscribers. And his videos had maybe 20, 30 views. They had 3 videos and I came across his channel. They were all great videos. I made it my personal mission to get this guy's content seen by more people because I thought it was criminal that he had 12 subscribers and was making videos that were that good. So I went out of my way to do 2 videos titled 10 Wrestling YouTubers Who Deserve More Subscribers. I made 2 videos called 10 Wrestling YouTubers Who Deserve More Subscribers. Not because, I'm selfish and I'm just going to get out of here and I have no passion. No, I made that because I want to better the community. I made those videos for the genuine goal of helping build up others around the community. Because, granted, I might not be having the most fun covering pro wrestling, but I want other people to enjoy the YouTube experience. So that's one little bit of the point. Additionally, other creators. I've helped, I won't name all of them, but just some. Ravishing Heat. he's a big supporter of mine, and that's mainly, well, kind of because I've helped him a fair bit with kind of like video, like help and whatnot, ravishing, you know what I'm talking about. Basically, also the creators who want to change their channel names. Off the top of my head, I've helped between 3 and 5, I think 3 and 4 creators who want to change their channel. They've come to me, I've helped them think of a channel name that fits them better, and we better be better for their channel. So, yeah, basically, just to wrap this whole point up, the fact that I'm doing no good for the wrestling community by continuing to be uncreative, and that I'm being selfish and whatnot, I find that misinformed. That's all that point is. You don't know me well enough to make that comment. Seriously, so that was that one. Then he makes the comment, so he basically says, it's at the point, so he said this about a minute into the video, this is like his first point. It's at the point where the wrestling community has gone beyond arguing over who should be pushed. It's at the point where people are trying to milk it and grow themselves, and they're probably going to completely leave it. That was his first point, and one of the biggest ones in the video. So right out of the gate, I want to address the heart of the matter. Okay, do I milk wrestling shows to try and grow my channel? Yeah, I definitely do. The thumbnails I use, the video tags, the titling, yeah, it's a milk. I'll 100% fess up to that. I technically do milk, but at the same time, how I do it is made so that when people click on the video that's really well like titled for clickbait kind of purposes, they see the video and then they hear an engaging 7 to 8 minute review. I genuinely want to entertain them. They hear an entertaining creator, or at least I like to think so, and there's a chance they'll be interested. Like, I'm a wrestling channel, they search for a wrestling video from a wrestling channel, they'll subscribe. That's the whole purpose, well, that's the whole reason and thinking behind my reviews. I get, based off your videos, that you completely hate that. You'd prefer if either I didn't review the shows, or I did the shows and just did a bland thumbnail, called it WWE Raw Review, and sat there for 40 minutes rambling, I guess. That's what you probably want me to do, but that would just be not soul destroying, but seeing the view numbers that would get, it wouldn't do nearly as well. And once again, I know this draws back to the whole purpose of this video. This whole thing about, oh, you only care about numbers, I care, and you know, what he's saying is that he cares for the product, and yeah, I get that. But it's just the mentality of YouTube. It's that whole thing, like, I know it's a bit of a weak excuse, but seeing in the dashboard the 1 of 10, 10 of 10, making videos like the ones that you'd want me to make for the reviews, it's not what I want to be about. But anyway, back to the whole point about me trying to milk and grow. If this was, say, as you mentioned in your video, 2008, 2010, 2012, 2014, and I was the same age then as I am now, and I wanted to get into wrestling community videos, I would be making videos purely out of a love for pro wrestling. Genuinely speaking. I know it's kind of hard to prove that because it's a bit of a hypothetical, but genuinely speaking, in that golden age of YouTube in the wrestling community, 2008 to like 2014, I would have made videos with the sole purpose of 100% only doing it out of pure love for pro wrestling. But the fact of the matter is, given the nature of the beast surrounding, 1, pro wrestling in 2020, but 2, YouTube in 2020, and the politicized and the nature of YouTube and how it's so overexposed and oversaturated, the analytical long reviews just, they won't get it done. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm really, like, that's a perspective thing between me and you. So that's that one. Then he says this one, which at this point not angered me, but this one was a head scratcher. He said, the YouTubers who do this, so what I do basically, aren't very creative. There's a lot of people who do simple reviews, who just talk over a picture. They just talk about a show and do random updates on stuff. But there's not a lot of people who are being creative and doing their own thing. So he made that point, and I was really scratching my head. And look, for someone in me who has made saying Undertaker 10,000 times, where I sat down in front of my laptop and said Undertaker, or some variation of Undertaker, 10,000 times. And yeah, I get that was one example, but just that example alone, I don't just do, like, my whole channel isn't just, oh, I'm going to do a 5-minute review in front of one picture, ramble for 5 minutes, post it, and then clickbait. That's not what my channel is. Look, I'm going to rattle off videos, saying Undertaker 10,000 times. So I did two fully edited, 1 hour long what if videos. What if I took over WWE? What if CM Punk joined AEW? Those ones got amazing reactions. I did, a WWE quiz or two. I've done the rise and fall of a couple of different wrestlers. I've covered and exposed creeps in the wrestling community and on wrestling Twitter. I've done if WWE pay-per-view taglines were honest. I do Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard, and Kevin Dunn skits. I did one yesterday where a Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard skit. How many people in the community do that? How many people? I'm the only one. And you're telling me that, I'm uncreative. It's not creative, the content you do. Who else does that? What else is that besides creativity, dude? So, at that point, I just didn't get. Roasting Raw, need I go on? There's just a bunch more of these videos. So, quite frankly, I found the whole uncreativity thing a bit insulting. That's how I found it. So, that was that one. Then, he made a point where he said, quote, he's literally admitted to me on Twitter that he hardly watches the content. He just likes seeing his channel grow because it's a quote-unquote win-win. That one I did say on Twitter. Could I have phrased it a bit better? Yes, but here's what I meant by that. So, essentially for me, and I know you disagree with this mental approach and you think, because I think this, that I shouldn't post content, but for me, and for a lot of people, life greater than wrestling in 2020. That's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of interest in pro wrestling, my general life, my daily routine, all that stuff comes ahead of it. Okay, given the time zones in Australia, when Raw is on, when SmackDown is on, when NXT, AEW, when all those shows are on, between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. or 1 p.m., I'm out and about, I'm busy, so I get home 3 to 4 hours after the show. Yes, if I was in your position, I'd probably watch the full 2-3 hour show. I watch the show, take critical notes, and then I do my review. But the nature of the beast, given how much passion I have for pro wrestling, and how much I've built up over the years, how much I know about pro wrestling, how much I can easily think to say, I can watch a couple of highlight clips on the WWE YouTube channel. I can read my Twitter timeline, check out a couple of reviews, a slideshow reviewer community video, like an Art the Wrestling Nerd, a reviewer experience, see what they rated the show. Once again, look at Twitter, look at the results, and I can really ascertain a basis for what I'm going to say about the the videos, because these are episodes of Raw, these are SmackDown episodes, and outside of things like The Fiend ambushing Alexa Bliss, which is something that you just genuinely have to see, most of this stuff you can read and see what people have to say, and you can form the basis of an opinion, and then I can make the video, entertain a couple of hundred people based off that, and we can go from there. So that's why I say it's a win-win. That's why I say that, dude. So that's my comment there. Then, those were the main 5 points. Then, basically, these are just, comments he made in the video. I've got kind of 1 to 2 lines to react to each one. I'm going to try and get out of here within about 5 minutes. I don't want my video to be any longer than his, really. So, basically, he says, well, first off, he gives a description of Joe Cronin's channel for nearly 2 minutes, with the core sentiment being that all these people, like me, and the people in not my community, but the people who do similar videos to me, are trying to be like the next Joe Cronin. And to this one, I swear on everything, I've legitimately seen maybe one of Joe Cronin's videos. I respect his audience base tremendously, and I respect what he's done for the wrestling community, but personally, I never go out of my way to watch his content. I'm not subscribed to Joe Cronin, no beef against him, but I just don't watch his stuff. I've taken zero inspiration from Joe Cronin, so that statement was off the mark. He then said, well, this one's a bit petty, but I put it down anyway. He said, I don't want to call him out by name. It's his life. It's his vision. Dude, just say my name. You spent 15 minutes talking about me in a video. Just say my name, dude. So that was that one. Then he says that, he says that he's done YouTube for a very long time, has a passion, and is coming up on 1,000 subscribers. Genuinely speaking, congratulations. Genuinely, that is awesome. I have nothing but respect for you for coming up on 1,000 subscribers. I think that's awesome. I have such respect for anyone who gets to 1,000 subscribers and actually has a following. I respect that. So that was what he said there. Then he talks about how we came across one another, how I reached out to him on Twitter and supposedly subscribed to him. Dude, I've been subscribed to you for however long since I talked to you on Twitter, a month. I've been subscribed to you that whole time, okay? I'm subbed to the people I engage with. That's the thing. I'm subscribed to you. Don't worry about that. Then he mentions the private interactions we've had and how he disagrees on what we think about YouTube and whatnot. I covered this kind of earlier. He addresses the content I make, and every third word he says is random. It's he makes random NXT reviews, random AEW reviews, random Raw reviews, random this. Doesn't for 1 second mention the creative videos I've made, the creative content, all the stuff I mentioned before. For no second mentions that. But I guess all my videos are just random. Okay, so that was that comment. Then he mentions my goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers by the end of August, and talks about how the way I address my channel, saying I want to make it my career. The whole thing with this one, like, yeah, the whole 1,000 subscribers by the end of August, it was a massive reach, and I mean, there's still 4 weeks till then, so I mean, we could hit it, but at the same time, it's just kind of showcasing my ambitious nature. Will I hit 1,000 subscribers by then? Highly doubt it. I'd hope so, but highly doubt it. Pretty much the whole thing with YouTube and how you say that, oh, I want to make it my career. Yeah, I know, I posted Road to YouTuber like yesterday, but that's just a bit of a fun series. How I see YouTube is pretty much, it's a privilege to be able to it's a privilege to have the opportunity to do YouTube, but I see it as like a side thing. I don't see it as a full-time career. If it eventually became a full-time career, that'd be awesome, and that'd be so, like, just so amazing, but I see it as more of a side thing. So that's that. Then he says, it's amazing to see a community with the same passion that, you do. So he said this, but this guy just uses interactions to make his channel big. Once again, I interact so much because I, like you, love the engagement, love the passion for pro wrestling, okay? I have a strong passion for wrestling. I don't have such an amazing passion for the current WWE product. I don't, but can you really blame me, dude? I know you really enjoy it, but I just don't have the greatest passion right now because the creative writing behind the show doesn't give me a reason to. But yeah, I absolutely love the engagements, and I do them for the same reasons you do, man. I just love it. It's engaging, it's fun, I enjoy it. So that was that. Then he says that I'm a young dude whose channel's doing great, but apparently I'm going to seek an opportunity and I'll abandon the wrestling community. I'm not here for the long haul, or so to speak. So he says that. This one's a tough one because I love making content. I really do. I love making YouTube content. Wrestling is the niche I chose to revolve my channel around. Like, wrestling's the niche I revolve my channel around, and I have a passion for wrestling, as I've covered. But at the same time, making daily wrestling videos, it's not good for your sanity in the long term. Like, I know you, dude, you mentioned in your video, you gave the example, maybe 2 years down the line, you'll potentially, like, hypothetically say you might move on and whatnot. That's your example. Personally, we'll see where it goes. It's a week-by-week thing with me, really. Like, what floats my boat, what's gonna, help me, engage me in doing videos and whatnot. So that was that comment. Then he says that he made his channel to support the wrestling community and vouch for smaller creators who don't have what they deserve. Literally, I do the same thing, if not more. So that comment I didn't get. I worded that a bit harsh, sorry. Yeah, I kind of addressed this earlier, but the amount of stuff I've done to try and build the wrestling community in 2020, the amount of stuff I've done, dude, comments like that at me, I just roll my eyes. So that was that one. Then, last but not least, he's talking about the draining nature of the negativity in the wrestling community. He links all this back to me and acts as if I'm like the most negative person in the wrestling community, using me as the example. I mean, after seeing the reaction to last night, Raw Underground, seeing the reaction to that, where you literally had, the JD from NY fans, or the people who really follow him and live by what he has to say, those people were all just hating on it immediately. You had a heap of wrestling Twitter hating it. I didn't even comment. That's my thing with wrestling Twitter at the moment. I either don't say anything, or I might say something a little bit negative, or I might bring up a tweet about, or something I've said in the past. Like, I'm not as negative as I used to be. Like, 100%, April and May, I was too negative. My Raw reviews in April were just so toxic. But now, I don't even know, dude. So that's the video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. This has been me making a quote-unquote drama video. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe on the drill. See ya.